I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where we break down all the goals scored in the Premier League. And today, it's West Ham against Nottingham Forest, and the Forest are only one win away to making Champions League football, which I hope they beat Chelsea. I so hope they beat Chelsea next week. So next week, yeah, well, whenever it is. A couple of it also comes with a double-edged sword, which Forest are about to find out. If you remember a couple of years ago when Newcastle, Eddie Howe pushed them through and they got into the Champions League, and they had a disastrous season in the league the next year after, because they were in the Champions League. When you're playing in Europe, it does take an awful toll on your squad. And I don't know if Nottingham Forest really have the squad to compete in Europe. And it's funny, it's not about competing or winning in Europe. That's what people always get sort of wrong. Oh, we're going to compete to win. No, it's the mental toll that it has on you that affects your league form. And of course, everyone wants you to focus on Europe because you're back in it, so you put your best team out, and then you suffer on the weekend because you're not quite with a squad depth to maintain what you did the season before. So it does come with this double-edged sword. But if anyone's got the funds to sort of help themselves and be smart in the transfer windows, the Forest can do it, and I really hope they do. There's a couple other little things about that I was going to mention, because I'm going to bring out a video about it, and I have I'm going to state it, because I'm actually going to go down and put a little cheeky bet on it if they win the final. If Manchester United, this is the same thing, win the Europa League final and they're in the Champions League, I think they'll get relegated. For the same reason, because they don't have the squad depth to compete in Europe, playing week in, week out, and then concentrate on their league form. You've seen what their league form has been like this year. They need 7 to 10 new players. And that's because if they're in the Champions League, because you've got to imagine, out of those, 2 are going to be injured, and so their league form is going to be worse than it is this season. They're going to go down if they think how silly that sounds. They're going to win the European Europa League, and then they're going to go down the next season. That's how important it is, because you need to have that squad depth and all those players around you. And hopefully, if Nottingham Forest do make it, that they don't get absolutely battered by playing in those European games. And it's a mental drain. I don't know if any of you have ever been mentally burned out because you've done too much. I have. It happens to me all the time because I just do too much stuff, and you can't keep up those levels of intensity, and that's when your body breaks. And that's when you lose games. But you know what? They didn't today. And let's get on to this. I just wanted to highlight this here. So if you've been around the world as much, coach football as much as I have all over the place, there's one other thing that you notice that gets utilised all over the world, but not necessarily in Europe. And this is the long throw. And I had to try to understand this and break this down, because that's what I do, understanding everything in football. And a lot of it is because there's not many games in Europe you're playing throwing the ball. So like in Yankee Land, for instance, they're playing baseball, American football, they're throwing the ball an awful lot. So even basketball, to an extent, is still throwing the ball with your hands. And they're much more adept to being able to take long throw-ins. I've seen kids the age of 12 taking throw-ins, further. I've got it on video throwing the ball further than this from the sidelines, and everyone in Europe is like, "Oh, look at the long throw!" I'm like going, "That's a standard throw." So this next sort of evolution of understanding long throw-ins hasn't happened in Europe because they don't have that, right? And this is one of those situations which I'm going to point out a little bit, and there's a little snapshot of goal here, because it creates goal-scoring opportunities really easily. He's throwing the ball in. The other thing that it creates is when you've got a long throw, you keep doing it, but it opens up the space to play the short throw. Runner comes in, dump. Now you can feed a ball in. It's a massive weapon in the arsenal of football teams. People just don't use. And the main reason is because, well, it's the main reason. There's a couple. Players can't throw the ball properly. They just can't. And because of that, they don't understand how to utilise it as a tactic, how to create opportunities. Everything close to the the 18-yard box should be a corner, just like it is here. So let's watch this ball fly. So if you're thinking this is as a corner, the ball's dropping in. I lost the flight of the ball. It's somewhere like that. Yeah, it's definitely there. It's coming towards the back post. But look at old matey Chuckles here, completely switched off. She wouldn't have been if it's a corner. It's weird how the brain functions. And as it comes in, look at it dropping. It's a loopy ball, and it's not a fizzed across ball. Again, because the thrower can't throw the ball with a fizzed trajectory. The only way he can get a distance on it is by getting a mad height on it. And I'm a fan of these loopy balls in the air as well, because the time it's coming down, everyone's adjusting and jockeying and fighting, and you'll be shocked how many times people misjudge the ball because it's taking a little bit of extra time to come down. Look, it just sits free. Don't worry, Chuckles here is watching. No one's going to mark him. It drops. Oh, It's a great opportunity. It's good technique. He does take a good touch on his chest, and he does get a decent strike away. The only thing I think he doesn't do here, and the angles don't do it justice, is whether or not he can actually see and look at what the keeper's doing, because he does have time when he's taking that strike to see where the keeper is. Also, let me technically explain that a little bit to you as well. So you go, oh, but he's striking the ball. Yeah, so what's happening is, as you're striking the ball, as your head's coming down and as you're striking the ball, you're looking at where the keeper is, right? As you're hitting the ball, you can change your foot. You can change where you're striking the ball. So as you're hitting the ball, you can pull your leg left or right or whatever to make it actually go where you want it to go. That's why it's still important to be looking the whole time where the keeper is. Now, it comes with a caveat. If you're looking at that, what are you not looking at? The ball. And not a lot of players, even at this level, are good enough to take their eye off the ball as it comes down and hit their foot and then look at the keeper. They can't do both. So you're in a sort of double edge there. If you want to, if you're good enough to, where the ball's coming down as you're striking it, to look at the keeper. But yeah, I digress.
Just too high for us.
Because I don't want to give the keeper credit for the save. Even though it's a good save, I hate giving keepers credit. All right, let's move it on. Classic goalkeeper mistake in the Premier League, because, quite frankly, as I've said before, 99.5% of all coaches in the Premier League cannot actually coach football. You think they can? No, they don't. They've done a couple of coaching licenses and they're off with their little badges and they think that they know what they're doing. One of the main, it used to make me laugh when people, oh, what coaching license have you got? Because I've done them all. And I go, well, do you have a driver's license? And they go, yes. Well, so I've got a driver's license too. Who's the better driver? Me, you, or Lewis Hamilton? We all have driver's licenses. So when you have a license, it doesn't mean anything. What you should ask people is, what have you done? What have you achieved? Have you put players on World Cup rosters? Yeah, I've done that. Have you made players go pro? Yeah, I've done that. Have you won championships and tournaments? Yeah, I've done that. Have you had a prolonged time where you've coached a single player for more than 8 years? Yeah. And then they ended up coaching the national team? Yeah. Oh, sorry, captaining their national team, sorry. Yeah, so it's about what you've done, not necessarily about what license you've got. And this is a classic example of someone's got a coaching license and they don't know what they're doing. Right, when you're teaching goalkeepers playing in training, generally what happens in training, and this is true, the players let the keeper play the ball. All right. So what does that mean? Well, even though they're putting a press on, in training, and they're going like 100%, they're not really, because it's their goalkeeper. Right? They don't. They don't put 100% press on. Now, there's a number of reasons for that as well. One of the main ones is they don't want to injure their goalkeeper, because if they're putting on a press all the time on the goalkeeper in training, they're going to end up clattering into him at least 4 or 5 times a training session, and then he's not going to be available to play. So this is a classic example of the goalkeeper thinks he can make this pass because he makes it in training, because the players that are pressuring him do not pressure him as hard as they do when they're playing in a game. Not only that, he's a goalkeeper for a reason. He can't pass this ball like this, otherwise he would be a centre midfielder. Look at what he's doing. He's trying to split 1-2 players on an angle with a through pass through there to here. That's a difficult pass at this level, because you've got to understand how fast paced the other players are running at you and everything. It's just too difficult. But don't worry, he's been coached. Yay, Premier League. Bang. Look, see him reading it. Not only is he reading it, he cannot react. This other little clown shoes player here cannot react, because the ball has no pace on it, because it's terrible. Gosh. Oh, keeper's like, oh, but it worked last week in training. Yeah, of course it did, mate. I know it did. They let you.
That's poor.
And it's in the back of the net. Good job, Forest. Let's move it on. I've got to say what I see here. And sorry, I'm not a Nottingham Forest fanboy. Actually, I do like the old Hammers. Tony Carr, one of their old coaches back in the day, does great coaching books if you ever want to pick some up. They're fantastic if you understand what he's, implementing. Now, here, this is a penalty all day long. How can you put 2 hands on someone's back, shove them, and this not be a penalty? It's a good job we don't have any of those video assistance referees that can go back and look at decisions like this just to make sure, when someone shoves someone and puts them off balance for a cross, that it's a penalty. I mean, how's that not a penalty? Is it stupid? Yeah. Is it really, really weak? Yeah. But you can't put 2 hands on someone and shove them in the back and not expect it to be a penalty. Well, of course, see, there's the benefits if you're Man City. That would have been a penalty all day long. You're wearing the right colour shirts. I'm shocked that Michael Oliver didn't phone up and say, sorry, boys, even if he wasn't on the game, on the VAR, being at home and phoning up the booth and saying, that's a penalty. Sorry, Michael, it's not Man City. It's Nottingham Forest. Yeah, but God, it's so bad. Like, this happens all the time. I mean, really, it really does. And when you're not like one of the big clubs, I think you get such a hard run because people won't pick that up in the media or anywhere else. They'll just go, oh, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. It all matters. That's why we play the games. So I call this out week in, week out about where the 18-yard box is, and they're defending up here for a free kick coming in. Now, this is the exact same problem. You're defending the 6-yard box, right? And you're giving all this space here. So what does that mean? Every single player is running towards the goal. So any delivery put in will put momentum towards the goal. It's moronic. I know why they do it, because I know the technical analysis advanced model that they use to dictate this, but they don't. It's not true. Just because the statistics back up what you're saying, it doesn't make the actual fact true. What you want to do is have your line and your goalkeeper here, so everyone is defending outwards, not inwards into the area. The amount of goals conceded this season, I said I was going to do it, and I never did this year, about this particular problem here. I'm going to definitely do it next season, because every single week a goal gets scored because they're playing this higher line up here, and you go, oh, it's not a very high line. Yep, I know it's because it's not a very high line because the ball's in this situation here, and that's basically the highest line as they can afford to have. So every single person running towards the goal, all it needs is any little nick, and it's in the net box. That's it. When he hits the ball, boom, little nick, it's in the net box. What a shock. Because everyone is looking through it the wrong way. They can't run out and attack the ball because, well, there isn't anywhere to run forward and attack. They needed to be 2 or 3 yards back, so almost on their own line, so they can run forward and defend the ball. Awful. It's awful. Just going through this little clip here, there's a couple of good little spots you can see. So first of all, you've got Nottingham Forest, and they are completely and utterly out of position, right? Clear run on goal. All he's got to do is take a touch, knock it, goal, right? You can see that picture happening right there. Let's play this forward. 1, 2, 1. Look how quick that the players get back into that line of vision of the ball. One's pressing, the other ones are there. Solid. It's pretty solid. Could he still play that ball? Yeah. But you don't want to play that pass there. And if you know the answer, have a little think. Why doesn't he want to play the ball there? Do you know? I'll tell you why. This player's already in motion, right? So you're setting him up for a collision right there. So if you play that, you know he's not going to get his shot off. It's just not going to happen. So you do want to put your foot on it, relax a bit, because they are panicking defensively. They are trying to shut the ball down as fast as they can. They're out of shape, and they're just trying to get back. Boom. Cuts it back inside. That's the wrong option. Right there is the wrong option. You see how good Nottingham Forest have got back, covering, defending everyone else. All he had to do was move the ball somewhere else. Don't shoot, put your foot on it, pass it, and then get your shot off from one of these two over here. Doesn't. Now, if you're a prolific goal scorer, you'll go, yeah, take the shot on. If you're not a prolific goal scorer, you put your foot on it and you pass it to somebody else. Because if you're good at striking the ball and you're good at scoring goals, you take that on and that's in the back of the net from there. That's a weak effort. Easy for the keeper to save. He's just almost passed it in. It's just not good enough. That's why he should have moved the ball on. This is really a nothing ball, just played in over the top. But I want you to watch something. I'm going to play it slowly, because I have to. That's the real reason. If I played it full time, it'd be full speed. It'd be easier for you to see. Watch these two here, okay? Watch Jared Bowen anticipate where the ball's going to drop. Watch. Move it forward. Do you see he stopped? He knows he can't challenge for the ball. Do you see that? He realises, well, I can't challenge for it because it's too far over here. And what's he going to do? Out jump this guy? And knock it down to here for him running on? He realises he can't. But he also realises the defending player is running backwards. So he's not going to get enough purchase on the ball to header it away. I don't know if you've played, how much football you play, where you do things sort of naturally sometimes. You don't even really realise that you've done something like this. Just because, well, you played so much football, it just comes, right? So as you watch him, do you see, look, he's already there, jockeying himself to anticipate where the ball's going to go, where the defender's going to head it to. He doesn't try to challenge the header at all. He just realises, defender's got no hope. Unless the defender knocks it back to the keeper, he's got no hope, by the way. That's exactly what the keeper, he should have done. You can see the keeper's come for it. He should have just knocked it to the keeper. But we do have a quality little touch here. Boom. Finish. Great finish. Bit of class there to round it off. Giving the old Nottingham Forest a bit of a scare near the end there. It's all down to the Chelsea game. Come on, Forest, don't let me down. make it into the Champions League. Oh, you won't get relegated. Man United will if they win the Europa League final. So, yeah, other than that, I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.